Rise and shine. Good morning. Welcome to Uncle Sam's Static Kaleidoscope, Bedlam Media's premier morning podcast. This is your show to kick off your morning right. Guys, it is for rematch, I believe it was uh, San Francisco 49ers, Kansas City Chiefs. It is going to be a great game. We have Usher doing the pre-show. Pre-show? Halftime show. That's what I meant. It was just watching. I wasn't watching, but the rest of the Bedlam Media crew, the Above the Ring crew, was informing me on the pre-show that they're doing over in Vegas for WrestleMania 40. So I got wrestling stuck in my head. Otherwise, guys, if you don't already do so, please make sure you subscribe, like this video, leave a comment below. Tell people why they should listen to us. Friday morning, we're gonna make this quick. We're gonna make this painless. Like I said, Super Bowl 58 this weekend. I think it's gonna be a good game. How do I word this? So growing up in New England, uh, you know, New England, Pats fan through and through. Obviously, they're not there, but I've always liked Patrick Mahomes. Aside from, the people he surrounds himself with. I'm not gonna point out names. You know who I'm talking about. But I like the dude. I do like the Chiefs. Hope they do well. Hope they win. I wouldn't mind seeing San Francisco win, so I don't really have to. I don't want to say I don't have stake in this game, but there's not a team I don't not care for. So it'll be a good time. It's funny. I had to look up just before we recorded. I had to look up who was doing the halftime show. Was this even announced? I'm kind of curious. Guys, let me know below because I totally missed this. I totally missed that it was Usher. I should have known it was another hip hop R&B artist. It's been pretty much that pop for I don't even know at this point. When was the last time I had a rock band on? I think I'm thinking like Bruno Mars when he had the Red Hot Chili Peppers show up. And I could be wrong. I think that was Super Bowl 49, Super Bowl 50, or 48. I think it was 48. Either or. It'd be nice to kind of see a switch up at some point. I'm actually surprised, and I'm not going to. I know this is probably frustrate people, but I'm surprised they don't have Taylor Swift, especially with their involvement with Travis Kelce this whole season with their relationship. Would have been an interesting choice. Maybe this is a deal that's done way in advance of of that kind of stuff. So interesting, but it'll be good. I'm trying to think of halftime shows now. There's been plenty of good ones. I do like, I'm thinking about, Prince when they did it, when we had, the Who. One that sticks out was the one, I think it was the one when New England won their first Super Bowl. It was U2 when they did the big wall for the victims of 9/11. A lot of good shows. So, end of football season. This sport flies by, and it's not even that long. It's not like basketball. It's not like hockey. Those sports go drag. I don't want to use the term drag on, but they go on forever. But football, man, it just like it starts and then it's done. It's like that blink of an eye. I think part of that has to do with it's only 17 games, not including the playoffs. 18 weeks, 17 games. I think that's about right. I don't have any of that in front of me right now. I'm just spurting out numbers. But man, I was in two leagues. I don't know how many of you do fantasy football. I'm assuming a chunk of you do. I'm not football. It's not like wrestling for me. Wrestling, I'm very involved with. I understand a bunch of different, wrestlers. I understand, I know who they are. I know their backgrounds. I know a bunch of different companies. With the NFL, I'm not as well versed. So when it comes to a lot of like the deep cut players, other people who might be on the bench, other, the free agents, whoever is on, I don't know, the San Diego Chargers, the LA Chargers, sorry. I have San Diego stuck in my head. LA Chargers defense, it's not, that's, isn't, I'm pretty good with, quarterbacks, tight ends, wide receivers, for the most part, the big names, the names that you hear often. But I didn't do too bad, especially this year. This is fascinating. I will tell you this story. So I was supposed to do one of my drafts for one of my teams. I was in the Outer Banks, and I had told my girlfriend, I go, hey, I have to do this. My draft is tonight in like 5 minutes. Okay. She understood. And then immediately she says, oh, there's sea turtles hatching down on the beach. We got to go to the beach. So I'm just like, so that draft happened while I'm at the beach. I was actually I was a little livid. I'm not going to lie. So, you get to see sea turtles hatch, but you couldn't have no light. So you're just a bunch of people looking at sand, hoping to see sea turtles walk by. You couldn't see anything because the light would like detract, the sea turtles from going to the. So, sorry, somebody is lovable right now. So anyways, that happened. When I had found out though that there was a stipulation that we were gonna have to somebody was gonna have to wear a weird hat on a night out, and then I found was not too thrilled. Oh, there we go. I'll leave it right there. Wasn't too thrilled about that, especially since I got Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins again, not bad, not awesome. I mean, he's Kirk Cousins. Luckily, my season ended like a Kirk Cousins season. It was okay. Barely made the playoffs. Did I make the playoffs? I don't remember. I think I was like on that cusp where I thought I did, but I actually didn't. And I was like the guy right below who could have made playoffs. But oh, look at that. You guys can't even, if you just listen to this, you can't hear her purring. She's just going nuts right now. Right, Aurora? Yeah. So, football season's all said and done. However, we do have the UFL. UFL just announced their season back on Monday. So UFL is the XFL USFL merger. They all announced their season, all the teams. Interestingly enough, my team, the Houston Roughnecks, they're keeping everything Houston. They're keeping the team, but everything about the organization is just going to be, I think, the Gamblers from the USFL, which was not a great team. So it's an interesting choice. I'm curious to see where this goes. But I'm looking forward to it. I'm a little upset because they did move the Orlando Guardians. I got to go see a game last season at Camping World Stadium. I think it was the Roughnecks and the Guardians. I was super excited. Again, the game is cheap. Not that expensive. Cost us maybe like, excuse me, $30 a ticket, $40 a ticket. Me, my brother, and a couple friends, we went. Had a good night. It's kind of like, okay, football has become so expensive. Even like the lower tier teams that aren't doing so well, so hot, still kind of pricey. Where, a lot of other sports, they have minor league teams. Growing up, where I grew up, obviously we had, the minor league, the Pawtucket Red Sox, for the Red Sox, and, the Providence Bruins, who are the feeder team for the Boston Bruins. So these teams here, it was a minor league, but it was a lot of fun, especially when they were feeder teams for, two of the biggest teams in, one of the biggest teams in each sport, respectively. And not that expensive. I'm actually craving a good old minor league hockey game. I don't know where the closest minor league team down here is in the Florida area. I'm gonna have to find out. Just a little ramble. But anyways, it was fun. It was nice. The closest team now, I think, is Birmingham. I think I'd have to go up to Birmingham to see the Stallions. Stallions have won the USFL title twice now. And now going into this new merger, I am curious to see what happens. They win it for a third time? Or are we looking at new champion? Who knows? Who knows? But Super Bowl, I mean, it's football weekend. What are you going to say? There's other things going on, but I want to focus on football because, it's part of our culture at this point. You don't watch football, you're watching the Super Bowl this weekend. That's just how it goes. Nobody's watching the Stanley Cup if they don't watch hockey. Nobody's watching any of that. The Super Bowl is a spectacle. We all do it. Couldn't tell you why. It's just part of our tradition. It's probably more of a tradition than watching. No, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm not looking for tradition. Football's becoming the American pastime. That's where I was going at with this. It's becoming the American pastime, I think, over baseball. Especially with the Super Bowl becoming how big it is. Couple interesting things, or at least one interesting thing. One of my friends was telling me, a friend of the show was telling me that Brock Purdy had been approached by a reporter and asked why his thoughts on. I gotta look this up. I'm gonna look this up in real time, folks. He was asked why he looked like Lee Harvey Oswald. As I'm typing it out, it's coming to me now. So, going off of the article I have in front of me, it's the New York Post, yeah. And you probably can find the interview on YouTube or Rumble or something. But he goes, yeah, I don't know. Really weird question. I'm not speculating anything. It's nothing like conspiracy related. Just wild. Why would you even ask a question like that? Especially since I don't think Brock Purdy looks anything like Lee Harvey Oswald. I've dug my head deep into the whole, Kennedy assassination myself, looking at different conspiracies, watching a bunch of documentaries, watching the footage. Nowhere close. Don't know why that was asked. Yeah, maybe I'll put a hashtag on there. Maybe it'll lead people down the wrong path to find this video. Yeah. It's in Vegas, Allegiant Stadium. Wish I could. Allegiant is a pretty gorgeous stadium. I was in Vegas a couple years ago. For those of you who listen to Above the Ring for Double or Nothing, and it's kind of out away from the Strip. It's close enough, but it's away, so it's not right there. Looks gorgeous. And it's Vegas, so it'll be nice and warm and a lot going on. But like I said, I'm going to leave you guys early. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoy your weekend. I hope you enjoy the game. Whoever your team, root. If your team's not there, still root. Get some good food. Enjoy the halftime show. Have a blast. Enjoy time with friends. If you don't already do so, please make sure you like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, leave a review. Tell people why Bedlam Media is the podcast of your choosing and why they should listen to us as well. Guys, as always, thank you for listening. And do not forget to join the Bedlam.